Hi guys, this week we're going to answer some questions. These are questions I've sent on a few forums. I'll put them up here somewhere so you can read them beforehand. Let's get started. The first one's about script length. The person was saying, I'm writing in writerduet and want to push it across to Google Docs so other people can read it. All the page formatting goes. Well, Google Docs isn't screenwriting software. Writerduet is. If you want to share your work, let's say it's in writerduet or anything else, what I suggest is that you use a thing called readthrough.com. It's a writerduet product, but anyone can use it. You upload a PDF to it. Then people can read your work and they can also add notes there. It keeps the right page formatting, it keeps everything. So don't go between like a word processor, which is like Google Docs or Microsoft Word, and think that's a way of sharing it. Keep it inside your environment, your creation environment, and share PDFs. PDF is sort of like the industry standard in reality. Next question. Finished an outline after already starting the screenplay. The person was asking, is this normal? Is it not normal? Is it allowed? I mean, that's the weirdest one. You're allowed to do anything in screenwriting. You're going back to your outline once you've started your screenplay. Your process is your process. I'm an outliner. I will do my entire outline. I'll revisit my outline. I'll change my outline. I'll polish my outline before I go to script. This person sounds like a little bit of a pantster. When he's got the idea, he started doing an outline and then he's jumped to screenplay and started working on that. Then maybe he's hit a snag. He's gone back to his outline, done more of his outline, then he can move back into script. This is just your process. Whatever your process is, whether it's getting halfway through an outline, starting a script, going back to an outline, writing a treatment, doing a short story, writing a song first, whatever your process is your process. So there's no right or wrong, as long as it gets you through your writing journey and gets you to a finished screenplay. Are you allowed to visit the set as a screenwriter? The set is run by production and directors. Are you allowed is an answer they have to have. They get to make. That's the decision they make. They may not. Some directors don't want the influence of a writer. They only want people to come to them for the creative decisions, for the creative answers. Craig Mazin, before he started doing his TV stuff, when he was doing film, he used to try to get himself on set. He used to say, he called it Screenwriter Plus. He said even if you didn't do anything that was really there, you could work on other things, but you're there to help out. It builds a relationship between you and the director and you and the producer. If somebody look at a line and they go, can we drop that line? Or if that line's wrong and you go, oh no, that line has to be in because later on in the film we do this, you can uncover landmines for them as you go ahead. But are you allowed? It's more, are you needed? Are you wanted there? You may not be wanted there. I have, because I'm in Australia and some of the things I've done have been done overseas. I had a director once set up a phone and did a Zoom call so I could watch a little bit of the set on a Zoom call, which is just really nice. That was more of a, here's the first day of shooting. Everyone's really, really excited. Would you like to see it for a few minutes? Of course, it was late at night, so I got up and watched the Zoom call for 30, 40 minutes, and then I hung up because I didn't want to be a pain in the butt. I wasn't going to be able to help. They're in New York, and I'm in Sydney. But it was good to see. Are you allowed to visit? It's not your decision. It could be in the contract, but probably not. It's going to be whether you can add value to you being there. It's really exciting to watch your work being made, but can you add value? That's more, put yourself forward as a person who might be able to add value, and you may be invited along. After selling my script, that's the title, and then underneath it says, let's say I sell my script. Well, my manager sells it for me. Let's say my friends want to read it. Am I allowed to let them read it after it's sold, or is that off limits? What's off limits? Basically, if you sell your script, it's not your script. It's like selling your car. You can't sell your car, but lend it to your friends on Saturday night to go to a drive-in movie. It's not yours anymore. You've sold it, you've sold the rights, and you've moved it on. You'd be taking something that isn't yours and letting someone else read it. And that's just not fair to the person who bought something from you. It could have a legal ramification if this person then decides to put the script out there or leak the script or whatever. I mean, most scripts or most screenplays get seen a few times by other people. It's rare that you show it to one person and that person is the person that buys it. No one else ever sees it ever again unless you've pitched the idea, they bought the idea, and then they say, okay, now write it and we'll work through versions with you. But if you've written a spec, you've probably showed a few people, and once it's sold, it belongs to somebody else, so it's really not the best thing to go showing other people once it's not yours anymore. This is an interesting one. This is sort of my pet hate when I bang on about, there's only commonalities, there's no rules. This is a person asking about a rule and they're struggling against a rule because it doesn't fit their story. And here's a good example of this. Forcing a protagonist into action rather than accepting the call. So they're saying, can I get the story started earlier? Can I force them into action rather than waiting for them to accept the call to adventure? Yes, you can. If you think of the early 90s films, there was nearly no first act. We went straight into it. They'd have a setup. They'd have a creature in the Amazon kill a few people, and suddenly Arnold Schwarzenegger was on a helicopter with all his mates heading straight in there to go and kill the predator or whatever it happens to be. It was those sorts of get to the action. Don't do this inciting incident, set up the world, meet a mentor, don't meet a mentor, threshold, get a call, refuse the call, accept the call, all these little things that everyone thinks has to be in your first act. They said, no, first act, really, really short. Let's get into the action. This guy's struggling with this. Well, do I have to have him accept the call, or can he just, on his own merits, on her own merits, do the action? Go straight for it. Are they the boss that is setting up the big heist that have to wait for someone to come to them and say, hey, I've got a big heist, you want to come here? No. Oh, no, we do need the money. I'll come and do the heist. So don't be dictated to. Do what best suits your story. Remember, you can always fix things in rewrites. That's the answer for that one. Antagonist Introduction is the title. I'm writing a feature. Is it too late to show the figure of the antagonist at the beginning of the second act? Page 25. An antagonist is a force that is stopping your protagonist from getting what they want. Showing the figure of the antagonist, you may never see the figure of the antagonist. Think about the shark in Jaws. We really didn't see the shark in Jaws till like midpoint of the film because the robot kept breaking down and Gottlieb had to keep rewriting. You don't have to do things that you don't want to do. It's not too late at page 25. You may not see the monster till the final act, and then you see all the effects of the monster. You see the paranoia, you see people disappearing, you know there's something coming, you know there's something going to get your main character, but you don't know how to stop it. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And then you see the monster itself, and it's, oh my God. If you watched it, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, when it was on, there was an episode, I can't remember what it's called, set in a fraternity house, and they're battling against this creature, and the doors are slamming, and you couldn't see the monster, but everyone's dying, and it's terrible. And then when you finally see the monster, it's about as big as my hand. And in their monster manual, it had a picture of this evil demon, and underneath in small print it says actual size. So it was a tiny little creature, and then it stood on it and killed it. That was a humorous thing, but the entire episode, the 45 minutes or whatever the episode used to go for, you never saw the monster. So you don't have to see the figure of the monster before page 25, before page 75, before page 100. You may never see the monster. It could just be wind moving through the trees, very a la Bird Box. We don't see those creatures, I don't think. So you don't need to see it. This last one is a very, very important one. The most important one. Feeling really depressed lately and wondering if I'm overwhelming myself. This is not a screenwriting question, but it is the most important question out of all the questions I've harvested for this episode. Depression is a serious health issue. People that do self-harm don't do self-harm because they're happy. They do because they're depressed. Don't link your mental health or any of your health with your writing. You cannot write if you are depressed. Take yourself away. This is for everyone, for me, for anybody you know. If you know people that are depressed, help them get help, because sometimes they can't see the way forward because their depression is like putting a hood over them and they can't see a way out. Give them help. Give them support. But if you're a writer and you're feeling depressed, put the writing away. Don't force yourself to do anything that's making you feel worse. Get your mental health fixed. Get your health fixed. And once your health is fixed, you'll be able to write. You'll be out of the blocks like a champion. You don't see like Olympic sprinters running with a broken leg. They get their leg fixed. They do their rehab. They do their work. They get it back to where it should be, and then they can sprint. There's the same thing with your health and with your mental health. Get yourself in a good position to write. Writing is not compulsory, especially at our level. Let's not fool ourselves. We are not making huge amounts of money doing writing, so we can afford to put it to one side and get ourselves right. To everyone who's been doing this, thank you very much. It's amazing. Thank you to the new subscribers. There's been a few new subscribers. People have been commenting, been having good little conversations with people, so it's very much appreciated. If you want to use writerduet, I've said this before, I make no money out of this, and if I ever make money, they're going to give it to a children's hospital for me. There's your discount code for writerduet, 20% off of a monthly subscription, annual subscription. If you want to try it out, you can just go download writerduet. I think that you have 2 or 3 scripts on there before you have to start paying them. It's a great platform. I like it. I use it on my iPad, use it on my iPhone. Good stuff. T-shirts. There's a few other little things that are links up below. And until next time, guys, keep writing. Bye.